Miners, much like sailors and fishermen, have long carried deep traditions of omens, folklore, and superstition. Many of these beliefs may seem strange or unsettling to outsiders, yet within the darkness of the mines, they became woven into the daily realities of those who worked beneath the earth. In the mining regions of Cornwall and Lancashire, old tales spoke of mines haunted by the spirits of children who had once laboured there in centuries past, only to perish from exhaustion, illness, or the suffocating lack of fresh air. These ghostly children were said to appear harnessed to phantom mine carts, their spectral thorns serving as warnings of approaching danger or disaster within the tunnels. Other stories tell of pale, ghostly women materialising in the depths of the mines shortly before explosions or cave-ins, appearing as silent omens of tragedy to come. Many mines were believed to possess an oppressive spiritual atmosphere all of their own, heavy with unseen presences, lingering sorrow, and the weight of countless lives lost beneath the earth. Within these dark and enclosed spaces, even the strongest men were said to feel overcome by an almost tangible fear, as though something ancient and watchful stirred deep within the shadows. Folklore often spoke of restless spirits drawn to the hidden recess beneath the grounds, haunting miners as they carried out their difficult and dangerous work. Among the stranger apparitions spoken of in mining folklore is the appearance of a severed dead hand carrying a candle through the underground tunnels. Witnesses claimed the spectral hand could be seen climbing ladders as though attached to an invisible body, moving with the familiar motions of a working miner. The candle was said to be held delicately between the forefinger and thumb, while the remaining fingers gripped the ladder in the manner of someone ascending through the shafts. According to the tale, the hand would silently pursue miners through the tunnels before brushing against their cheek with icy fingers, only to vanish moments later amidst faint echoes of sobbing laughter drifting through the darkness. One explanation offered for the haunting tells of a miner who lost his hand in a terrible accident beneath the earth. His spirit supposedly doomed to wander the mines thereafter. Yet the apparition was reportedly seen in many different mines rather than haunting a single location, leading some to question whether it could truly belong to one restless soul alone. Because of this, others believed the hand was not human at all, but instead some darker spirit, subterranean demon, or fairy being tied to the hidden world beneath the grounds. Like many mining apparitions, it existed within the uneasy boundary between ghost story, warning omen, and ancient folklore, a lingering reminder of the dangers and mysteries concealed within the deep places of the earth. This is by Maurice Bisley in his 1955 book about St. Agnes called Friendly Retreat. One mine, at least in the St. Agnes district, is said to be haunted. Polbreen is situated at the foot of St. Agnes Beacon, near the village, and in a nearby cottage once lived a woman called Dorcas. One night, the poor creature lost her reason and threw herself down a deep shaft of the mine. Although her broken body was recovered and removed for burial, her spirit still remained in the mine, where it took a malicious delight in tormenting the industrious miner, calling him by name and alluring him from his work. Although no one is credited with having seen the ghost of Dorcas, her voice has caused much trouble, and indeed more than one miner is reputed to have had his clothes torn from his back by the spirit. On one occasion, Dorcas saved the life of a miner by calling his name so persistently that he left his end to find out who was calling him. Immediately he had moved, the roof of the level fell on the spot where he had been working. The lucky miner ever afterwards declared that he had been saved by Dorcas. Although the spirit has not been heard for many years, even today there are those who have felt her presence when near the mine. Among the most enduring and widely recounted tales of hauntings are those connected to the deep tin and coal mines of Britain, particularly within the mining regions of Cornwall. For centuries, miners spoke in hushed voices of strange sounds, unseen presences, and supernatural beings believed to dwell beneath the earth. Foremost among these spirits were the mysterious entities known as the knockers. Deeply rooted within Cornish mining folklore, the knockers were said to inhabit the tunnels and shafts of the mines, their presence announced by eerie knocking sounds echoing through the rock. Some miners believed these spirits warned of danger or collapsing tunnels, while others feared them as restless beings tied to the hidden depths below. Legends insist that the knockers did not belong solely to ancient abandoned workings, but could also be heard within newer mines and buildings raised upon mineral-rich land. One often repeated Cornish tale tells of a man who purchased a newly built house within a mining district. During the night, he was repeatedly awakened by the sound of heavy boots marching up and down the stairs, as though an unseen army moved through the house. Yet each time he opened the door to investigate, the noises ceased and silence returned. When he later questioned one of the household servants, a local Cornish girl, she calmly explained that the sounds belonged to the knockers. According to her, they had appeared to reveal the presence of a new load of tin lying hidden beneath the house, waiting to be worked. In time, her words were proven true, for a rich seam of tin was indeed discovered beneath the building. Another famous tale surrounds Wheel Vor, an old mine situated north of the village of Breege in western Cornwall. It is said that a night watchman stationed there once heard loud knocking followed by the unmistakable crash of a cartload of debris being overturned outside the account house where he sat. Yet upon searching the area, he found nothing capable of explaining the disturbance. When he recounted the experience to the miners the following morning, they reportedly reacted with grave concern. Before many days had passed, the watchman fell seriously ill and died, leading some to believe the sounds had been a supernatural omen foretelling his fate. Stories of haunting were not confined to Cornwall alone. In one coal pit, an overseer dismissed for both fraud and theft was said to harbour intense hatred toward the man appointed to replace him. Sometime later, both men were discovered dead together within one of the shafts. Though the official explanation attributed their deaths to fire damp, dangerous gases gathering underground, rumours soon spread among the workers that something far darker had occurred. After the deaths, miners claimed to hear furious arguments echoing through the tunnels, voices they recognised as belonging to the two dead overseers. According to local law, the disgraced former overseer had deliberately lured his successor into a dangerous area filled with deadly gas in the hope of killing him. When the fumes did not act quickly enough, the two men reportedly struggled violently before both succumbed beneath the earth. Long afterward, workers swore the sounds of their bitter quarrel still echoed through the mine's dark passages. One Cornish mining legend tells of a terrible cave-in in which many miners lost their lives beneath the earth. When the bodies were finally recovered, they were said to be so badly crushed and mangled that they could scarcely be recognised. According to the tale, in an attempt to spare the grief and horror of the victims' families, one of the surviving miners gathered the remains and cast them into the furnace. From that time onward, the mine was believed to be haunted by small, black, spectral dogs that wandered silently through the tunnels and surrounding land. These eerie creatures were regarded as omens of death and disaster, often appearing shortly before accidents, cave-ins, or tragedies within the mine. Their presence became deeply feared among the miners, who saw them as restless guardians of the dead and dark reminders of the suffering buried beneath the earth. Another spirit spoken of within mining folklore is a being known as Gathan, a troublesome and deceptive presence said to haunt the underground workings of the mines. Unlike the knockers, who were sometimes viewed as warning spirits, Gathan was feared for mocking and misleading the miners. Legends claim that he would imitate the sound of miners' tools, repeating their hammer blows stroke for stroke from somewhere unseen within the darkness. At times, he was also said to fill the tunnels with strange smoke or lure workers astray with false lights and phantom fires flickering through the shafts. Gathan was regarded as distinct from the smaller spirit-like beings or imps that miners also claimed to encounter beneath the earth. These little underground creatures were often described as lounging near mineral lodes or continuing mysterious work within the mine while the miners themselves were absent. Unlike Gathan, the imps were generally considered fortunate presences, believed to bring luck or indicate rich seams of ore nearby. Yet despite their reputation as lucky spirits, the imps were also thought to possess an uneasy relationship with Christian symbolism. Folklore warned that they would not tolerate the sign of the cross being drawn or made underground, suggesting they belonged to older, stranger forces tied to the deep places beneath the earth, rather than the world above. According to Cornish folklore, the Spriggans, strange fairy beings associated with ancient sites, ruins, and the deep places beneath the earth, were believed to gather within the deepest mines on Christmas Eve to hold their own mysterious mass. Hidden far below ground, they were said to meet within a magnificent underground temple crafted by their own hands, a secret place of eerie splendour concealed beneath the earth. During these gatherings, the Spriggans were believed to sing an old carol known as Now Well, its haunting verses echoing through the tunnels like distant voices carried upon the stone. The song spoke of the birth of the King of Israel and shepherds watching their flocks through the cold winter night, blending Christian imagery with the older, stranger folklore of the mines themselves. Other tales from mining regions tell of a mysterious blue flame appearing deep underground, a spectral light often associated with a spirit known as Bluecap. This being was believed to move heavy mine carts through the tunnels without human assistance, as though guided by the strength of an invisible miner. Bluecap was regarded as both useful and dangerous. and miners believed his wages had to be paid properly and on time by leaving offerings or coins in abandoned corners of the mine. Failure to honour him correctly was said to invite misfortune, accidents, or disturbances beneath the earth. Miners have long been known for their deep-rooted superstitions, many of which developed from generations spent working within dangerous and unpredictable conditions beneath the earth. In Cornwall, these beliefs often centred around what were known as tokens, omens or signs believed to foretell disaster, death, or misfortune within the mines. The lonely walk to work during the dark hours before dawn was considered an especially powerful time for encountering such warnings. According to local belief, if a miner happened to see a woman while making his way to the mine during the night, it was considered such a grave omen that he would often turn back and refuse to work that day. Animals too were seen as bearers of warning. The appearance of a hare or a white rabbit near the entrance of a mine was believed to signal imminent collapse or tragedy underground, prompting miners to warn others or avoid entering altogether. In the northern mining regions, folklore also speaks of mysterious spirits known as the Seven Whistlers. These eerie beings were said to announce approaching danger by producing strange whistling sounds that echoed like fierce winds through the air, even when the night itself remained still and calm. Hearing the cries of the Seven Whistlers was regarded as a serious omen, warning miners to stay away from the pit lest disaster strike beneath the earth. Thank you so much for descending into the mines with me and exploring these strange and haunted pieces of folklore from beneath the earth. From ghostly hands carrying candles through the tunnels to knockers, omens, phantom miners, and the spirits said to linger deep below the ground. Mining folklore holds such a fascinating mixture of fear, superstition, and mystery. There's something deeply eerie about the idea that the earth itself remembers. If you enjoyed this journey into haunted folklore, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know which story unsettled you the most. Until next time, stay safe in the dark, and I'll catch up with you in the next episode.